At the end of time, a moment will come when just one man remains. Then the moment will pass, the man will be gone. There will be nothing to show that we will ever hear but stardust, the last man, alone with God. Am I that man, my God? So, recently I decided to watch Danny Boyle's 2007 sci-fi film Sunshine. While I was scrolling around looking for something to watch, didn't put too much thought into what I was going to choose, but I had no idea how amazing this film was going to end up being. This is going to be a part of a new series. I will focus on older films that people might have forgotten about and reevaluate them to see if they've aged well today. I will be talking about the film Sunshine. Sunshine is a 2007 science fiction psychological thriller from director Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. The film tells the story of a crew of astronauts on board Icarus 2, the second ship sent on a dangerous mission to send a nuke into the sun in order to reignite the sun and save humanity. When close to the sun, the crew receive a distress signal from the lost Icarus 1 ship. The crew becomes left with the complex dilemma of what they should do. If you haven't seen this film, you're watching this video, you need to check it out. The turns and twists and turns throughout the film are unforgettable, and you do not want to get the spoilers. This is an amazing film, and you need to check it out. Spoilers ahead for this film. I want to start by highlighting some of the amazing technical elements that went into this film. The score for the film is incredible. John Murphy was the composer and he did a brilliant job. So many different emotions and tones are covered in this film and enhanced by this elite score. John Murphy's score covers a great mix of horror and wonder for one of the best scores I've heard in a while. There's some parts of this film where you're just listening to this score and it creates this sense of imagination, sci-fi wonder, like look what I'm looking at, isn't this incredible? There's other parts, particularly in that third act, which enhance the intensity and creates a whole range of emotions. It's a pretty incredible score. Adagio D minor often gets praised for good reason. It's an incredible piece of music, sounds amazing. The cinematography in this film are also brilliant. So much of the film was close-ups and actors' faces, creating a really claustrophobic atmosphere. There was a great mix of Dutch angles and really uncomfortable shots to create this uneasy atmosphere, adding to the intensity and pressure of it all. The lighting as well, obviously since the movie uses the sun, it takes importance in how it emphasizes the sunlight to create some beautiful shots of wonder. Just staring into this bright light, this abyss. I'll get into more later when I talk about the third act, but they give it such a unique look, hiding the full shot using this blur technique, which adds to the horror of it all. So many beautiful shots in this film, a lot of focus on scale. The moment of Mercury passing across the sun was a beautiful, really puts in perspective of everything they're going through. The film had many unique shots that I've really never seen before in any other movie. This was a beautiful film. This film blanked at the Oscars, but if I could give only one nomination, it'd probably be for cinematography. The editing is electric for this film. It's so well paced, there are many big sequences of the film that just flies by, never really giving you a moment to calm down. That third act in particular, how quickly it cross-cuts between things, keeping things close together, really adds to the tension and makes it so amazing. The third act of this film is pretty divisive. Plenty of people believe that the sun turned into a slasher ruins the film, and I could not disagree more. For me, this insane third act is what really makes the film for me. The main reasons why it doesn't seem to work for people is that it's so different from the rest of the film, which is true. The first 2/3 of the film is equally amazing, but tonally and story-wise is more focused on being a grounded film where scientists are dealing with science issues such as fixing the shields. That jettison between airlocks and figuring out how to deal with lack of oxygen is all amazing. I love sci-fi movies that tackle big sci-fi problems. Like I love The Martian, just figuring out how to solve problems. It's such a great genre, so much fun. I love watching stuff like that. And these are all great sci-fi sequences, but the main thing that stands out to me from the first act is the morality between characters, and that I feel like that really comes into view during the third act. The main themes and ideas explored in this film are the idea of science versus religion. It's clear with the sun representing God, religion is a key theme explored through Cyril and his obsession seeing the sun as a godlike entity. Basically, the second scene of the film is Cyril witnessing the power of the sun, barely being able to handle the brightness. Cyril's obsession with the sun as a god is shown further in the film during Kanai's death, where instead of being worried, all he wants to know is what it looks like. Cyril's obsession with the sun as a higher power is a clear foreshadowing to let us explore the idea of how powerful the sun is, and for us to contrast the villain Pinbacker, who clearly went through a similar phase as Cyril, except he couldn't control his faith. satisfying moments of the film is him accepting his death and becoming one with the sun and letting the sun kill him. He rejects the sun's power over him, basically, kind of, if that makes sense. Pinbacker's belief in the higher power overcame him, so he rejects his science and becomes a devout believer and sabotages the ship because he believes this is what God wants. I think a very famous quote that can really sum up what I'm talking about here is the main themes, and I did explore, but it's can be summed up with the Nietzsche famous quote: "He who fights with monsters might take care lest he thereby become a monster, and if you gaze for long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you." This is clear parallels to the film. Through isolation, these people are left literally staring into an abyss, with the only thing looking back at them being the sun. These people are sent to fight with monsters as in saving the world, but spending too much time gazing into the abyss causes them to side with the idea of destroying humanity. It's kind of like that quote from Batman. The difference between you and me is we both stared into the abyss, but you blinked. Pinbacker blinked. He is not Batman, and he let the faith overtake him and drive him insane. Through isolation and pressure, it drives people into searching for answers outside of what is presented to them. These people search for an alternate to the science they are given, and they end up moving towards the blind faith, going into the abyss and turning their backs on the science they used to rely on. Even if you feel like the horror shift didn't feel natural, I feel like it is impossible to deny the technological expertise from Danny Boyle and how they present the film's horror. I mean, just looking at the tonal shift, it starts with such a simple way of Killian's character turning to the computer as it tells him there isn't enough oxygen left. Obviously, as the viewer, we are in Killian's confusion, as has been clearly explained to us. There are 4 passengers, they have enough oxygen. But then the simple line delivery from the computer, 5 crew members. The energy in the movie shifts. You can feel that something is truly off. The following scene, we discover Pinbacker soaking in the view of the sun is terrifying. We have no idea what he is. And he says we can hear when we have no idea who or what this is, and it just constantly starts getting philosophical. He is getting philosophical, and we quickly understand what he wants and who he is, and he attacks Kappa with the knife. With the knife that we saw was missing earlier. This genre shift is done perfectly, and you've really grown to be attached to these characters, and seeing them meet with this seemingly unstoppable evil of Pinbacker is really horrifying. The editing and shot choices and sequence involving Pinbacker, we never really get to see a clear image of what he is and how it gets distorted in that third act before they blow it up. It's insanely, as the atmosphere and tension of it all, it's incredible. And with this quick, rapid editing, makes it all more intense. Danny's been pretty laid back in his style for the first 2 acts, and then went all out in the third act to create such a terrifying experience for the audience. The climax of the film, we see Kappa sacrificing himself in this bomb in order to save humanity. For the very powerful final scene, we watch as his family receives the video he recorded early in the film, and they look out into the sun as it gets brighter. It's a very beautiful and satisfying final scene. The performances in this film are all great. Everyone lives feeling very natural, and everyone manages to stand out in their own ways. The dynamic between them felt very real. The aggression between them all felt real. I loved it. I love the kind of group feeling we got from them. So if it isn't clear, I think this film is perfect in so many ways. It is held up very well, and I wish more people would give it the attention and praise it deserves. 10 out of 10, this is my favorite Danny Boyle film. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Let me know